Warning, this video contains strong language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, my Hooked Honeys, and welcome back to Hooked. If you're new here, my name is Leanne, and Hooked is basically where we talk about some true crime stories and do some crochet projects together. And I'm here for you every Wednesday. So on today's episode, we are going to go ahead and start the front panels of our little blanket cardigan, and we will also be talking about Ann Wittich. So, for the measurements for this front panel, when I left you guys off, basically just had that, here I'll pull it upside down so I don't confuse. You just had this back kind of panel. What I did to do the measurements is I folded it in half and I measured from here with my little measuring tape here, 4.5 inches, and then I marked it on both sides. When you open it, you'll have about 9 inches in the middle, and then make sure it's even on both sides. I went ahead and did one of the front panels already. This is getting kind of heavy, but yes, I did one of the front panels already, so I am going to go ahead and just start the other panel with you guys. So a lot of people do this blanket cardigan like all the way down to their ankles, but I'm lazy and I'm not doing that. I thought I could do it down to my knees and that would be perfectly fine. So you want to make sure that you have the same amount of stitches on the right side of your back panel, the same as on the left side of the back panel. And you want to count those out. I had 15 personally, I had 15. So I am on my third ball of yarn. Yes, number 3, third ball of yarn, and I am just going to attach this here, and after I attach it, we are going to go ahead and light our crochet candle so that we can get into this story. I actually bought a pack of these, so like specifically the ones with the little thing, just for my candle, because I refuse to keep struggling with that thing. Ann was born November 28th of 1962, and as far as her childhood, there's not much available to the public, but there is a reason why we are talking about this woman. She basically did the most horrific thing that someone could do to her own children. In 1983, she got married to a man named John Scott Wittich. Her and John had 4 kids together from the 1980s to the early 2000s. The oldest sibling being Kate, then there was Lindsay, and then the 2 youngest siblings were Jacob and his little sister, Sydney. The family lived in Delhi Township in Ohio, and from the outside looking in, Ann was your typical soccer mom who loved her kids and was a part of all of their activities. She would like coach soccer and all that fun stuff, right? Unfortunately, Ann and John were having really bad marriage problems, and this would all stem from her basically having crazy mood swings. So it low-key seemed to me that she may have been suffering from bipolar disorder. She'd be really happy one moment and then extremely upset and depressed the next. The marriage issues started there, but they ended when Scott, they called him John Scott, when he found out that she was having an affair with another man. So, after 24 years of marriage, they ended up divorcing, and both of them agreed to have joint custody of their 2 youngest children. And John ended up moving out of the family home and moved to Highland Park, which was near that like Kentucky-Ohio border kind of deal. So the 2 oldest kids were grown, so they weren't really a part of that custody situation. It just had something to do with the 2 youngest kids. On July 31st of 2007, Ann did the unthinkable. The day started like any other day with the 2 oldest children getting ready for work. Mary Ann even joked to one of them, like, "Are you ever gonna leave?" Now, this joke seems like very now that you think about like what Mary Ann was planning to do once her two oldest kids left, right? So when they leave, Mary Ann goes to get the two youngest children some breakfast or whatever from Wendy's. I believe it was Wendy's. And she comes home. She feeds them. She ends up drugging them with some Benadryl. Okay, first of all, she drugs them with Benadryl. Her son is 10 years old and her daughter is 7, right? She then painted black X's over their hearts and shot both of them in the chest at point blank range. It was so calculated and so sinister, and the reason that she did this was because she was upset that her husband was done. First of all, y'all been done, okay? When you cheated on him, you been done. And at this time of the murders, she had a boyfriend. Like, girl, what the fuck is wrong with you? Not only did she murder her two youngest children, she committed suicide. She ended up shooting herself. Like, what? A what? Pardon me? Excuse me, what? She wasn't even, Jesus. She wasn't even woman enough to take the responsibilities and the consequences of doing what the fuck she did to her kids. She just shot herself. And bitch, you're never gonna get your husband back. I don't know why the fuck that made sense to you. It was so calculating. Like, not only did she drug her own kids, she put X's on their hearts. She then got the gun and then shot both of them 2 times in the chest and then turned it on herself. There were so many. She could have stopped so many times. There were so many times to like stop. What the fuck? Like, this cases like this get me so angry. I get so enraged because some people literally do not deserve to have children. Like, how could you do something like that to your own kids? Like, your two youngest kids at that. What kind of mom are you? What the fuck are you doing with your life? Well, nothing. You fucking ended it. So you could have ended your own shit. You ain't have to take your babies with you. That was not nice. But I'm just saying, like, babies, 10 and 7 years old. What is wrong with this lady? Alright, my hooked honeys, this is about as far as I got with my front panel that I did with you guys. And that was the tragic case of 10-year-old Jacob Wittich and 7-year-old Sydney Wittich. And it's so unfortunate that the person that birthed them, that was supposed to take care of them, nurture them, raise them, was the person that ultimately took their life. And because of what? You didn't want your husband to leave? If you would like to see updates on the cardigan, please follow me on Instagram at hookedwtruecrime. Check out my Etsy shop as well. I will have the link to that in the description below. And also make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'll have you guys finish your front panels and then I will meet you back here next week. Love y'all. Bye.